Starting in 2025, Kia now sells a hybrid version of their Carnival minivan. However, the 3.5-liter V6 has been around for a while, and it makes more power, and it's going to cost you less from the dealership. So if you go with this option, what sort of fuel economy can you expect if you're just cruising on the highway? Today we find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from DM Moto, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2026 Kia Carnival V6. In this test, I'm going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get a realistic fuel economy number for this minivan. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. Redesigned for 2025 and coming into 2026 with virtually no changes, the, I'll say, handsome Kia Carnival van. No all-wheel drive option on this one. You just get front-wheel drive and either this 3.5 V6 or the 1.6 turbo with the hybrid. Now that hybrid is going to get you better fuel economy around town, but it's going to be a little bit more complex, potentially a little bit more work on that powertrain. And this V6, pretty tried and true from Kia. So if you do want to see more on this, check the link below. We've got our full pros and cons review after I spend a week with the car. We also have a dedicated review of the Bose audio system, so you can find those linked below. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Carnival 25 miles per gallon for its highway testing, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. We know there are plenty of people who do big miles on the highway and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, I'm going to fill up at the gas station here tonight when there's no traffic. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do 100 miles on the highway, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Now, a few things to note for the test. Outside temperature will be somewhere in the low 60s for most of our testing. I'm going to have the tire pressure set at their door placard 39 PSI cold. That's a pretty high number, and I'm kind of feeling it here going over these speed bumps, but theoretically that should also help with fuel economy. And we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So, with all that out of the way, let's head to the pump. We are all topped off, put in just over 1.5 gallons of 87 octane here into the tank of the Carnival. We are going to scroll up and reset our trip computer. Going to make sure our GPS is reset. Our phone has a low battery. We'll probably charge that up on the drive here. Get that going. Climate control at 73 auto, and we're ready to begin. Yeah, we do have a few different drive modes here in the Carnival. We've got Eco, Normal, Sport, and Smart. We're going to do this test in Eco. I'm going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile away, and pick up the test from there. Now, side note, a lot of times when I'm reviewing big minivans like this, commenters sometimes come in and say, oh, you should be testing with a bunch of weight in the car, or a bunch of people in the car. This isn't very accurate. From a scientific standpoint, I agree with you. But you've got to be realistic about what resources I have afforded to me here. You think I have a bunch of 150 to 200 pound dummies or sacks of sand or something I can load up into the back of this thing? Furthermore, oh my goodness, there goes my GoPro. Furthermore, it's been proven and shown that extra weight in a vehicle doesn't actually have that much of a difference in efficiency, energy efficiency, when cruising steady state. Now, yes, the more hills you have to go up and down, the more stops and starts you have to make, weight's absolutely going to play a factor. But for just cruising along on the highway here at steady state 70 miles per hour, weight shouldn't make that much of a difference. So if you throw a wife and some little whippersnappers in the back here, your fuel economy is not going to greatly change based on what we're seeing right here. So I get it. I know that would be cool in a perfect world, but it's not going to happen. I'm not going to hit up 7 of my closest friends on a Wednesday night here and say, hey, you want to take a trip from Irvine down to Carlsbad and back while I shoot this video? I mean, that honestly could be kind of fun, but got work to do. Now, the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this car, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, I'm getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, and I'm going to set the cruise control at a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average 70 over the whole test. Now, of course, this video would be getting a lot more interest if it were the hybrid. However, I would imagine that you're not going to see that much fuel economy difference between the normal V6 here and the hybrid powertrain when you're just cruising on the highway. You're still dealing with the same aerodynamics. I don't know if the hybrid runs the Atkinson cycle. It probably does, but other than that, I mean, this is what a lot of people are going to buy, so this is still going to be a useful point of information. And initial highway impressions does seem fairly refined. They run the tire pressures at 39 psi, and that's kind of high. So I don't know if it's just because of that or if it's kind of a combination of everything, but I have been feeling a lot of those primary bumps come through in my initial impressions here of the van. Not only just in this video, but throughout the last day or so. But we do have Kia's active lane keeping system, and as you can see it taking us through this corner very nicely. Typically, it's a very satisfying system. Looks like 71 on the dash is giving us just about 71 on the GPS, so we should be able to settle in for the most part. It's going back and forth between 70 and 71, so I'd have to play with that a little bit, but yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to continue on with the test and test out this Meridian audio system with some members-only tracks, so check the link below if you want to see that, and I'll catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time-lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Kia Carnival. I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised with quite a bit about this car. Active lane keeping, very unobtrusive, very competent, and no beeping or anything like that. It'll change lanes for you slowly. So if you're just kind of, not in the light traffic, like, well, let's try it right here. I'll come up behind this van and then we'll get past this slow 4Runner. And I will press the blinker now. As long as and just kidding, it's given up for some reason. I don't know why. But in general, if you keep your hand on the wheel, it'll change lanes. It just takes a little while. But if you want to interrupt it, you can absolutely just interrupt it real fast. There's no problem there. It doesn't freak out at you or anything. So that's nice. Steering wheel is thin and kind of drops down real low. It does block the gauges a little bit, but you have a nice head-up display. So that's nice. Seat comfort's actually fine. You've got 4-way lumbar adjustment, so that's been able to kind of get comfortable. I was worried when I first got in the car because the seat bottom's a little short and the seat material feels simple, put it that way, but it's been fine. Fuel economy, very impressive, 29 MPG according to the vehicle's readout. We're going to have to get it back to the pump and calculate our final numbers, but my gosh, why are people buying things like Suburbans and getting 20 miles per gallon if they're lucky cruising on the highway and having their lifters go out on the 5.3 liter V8 when you can get something like this and be getting 29, no problem, for 50 grand? That's pretty cool. The Bose sound system's actually pretty darn good as well. So, yeah, between the large cup holders, the Bose, the everything just working well. It's been refreshing after being in the CX-5 and then the Mazda CX-5 and then the Tesla Model 3. Just so much tech and a lot of it not working great. It's just nice to get in a car that works. So I've been pretty happy with this drive. I'm gonna get it back to the pump here. Oh, hey, sorry, right lane held. Can't forget our tack shot. Looking at a comfortable 1.9 So 1900 RPM cruising at 72. I forgot to mention, I have bumped the speed up 1 mile per hour because we did get stuck in a little bit of construction traffic near the end there, so I was trying to compensate for that. But drops down to 1800 RPM at 71. So I'm going to get the car back to the pump. We're going to fill it up with gas and calculate our final number. We are all fueled up, put in a total of 3.324 gallons back in here into the Kia Carnival. And if we take that 100.3 miles traveled divided by 3.324, we're getting an impressive 30 miles per gallon here out of the Carnival. So significantly better than the EPA's 25 MPG guess, and even better than the vehicle's readout, which kind of makes sense because, look, it thinks we only went 98.8 miles, but we actually did 100.3 according to our GPS calculation. So I'll give it 30 miles per gallon. Very, very happy with that, considering if you pay more and you get the hybrid out of the Toyota and everything with the 4-cylinder, yeah, we got 36, but that Odyssey 3.5, I mean, we haven't tested it in a while. Let's just check real quick. I can't remember what we got last time we tested the Odyssey. All right, so the Odyssey got 32 last time we tested it. Man, that's the thing. Minivans they're so fuel efficient on the highway. It boggles my mind. 32 from the Odyssey. We got 28 last time we tested the Carnival. 30 now from this Carnival. 36 from the Sienna. The way I see it is you're winning regardless. As long as you get a minivan over something like a big SUV, you're winning. So 19 miles per gallon times that 30 mile per gallon figure is giving you a healthy 570 miles of highway cruising range here in the new Kia Carnival. So, like I said, if you're doing mostly highway driving, skip that little 1.6 turbo and the hybrid and everything like that. Just get yourself the good old 3.5 V6, and you get some power, and you get some simplicity, and you still get decent fuel economy. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Kia Carnival, check the link below, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.